One Direction's beloved Liam Payne's death may finally be coming to an end because, as the Diddy trial progresses, a link has been made between the substances discovered in Liam's autopsy report and the recreational drug Autopsy, sometimes known as pink candy, which Diddy utilized in his well-known freak-offs. Let's begin. In October of last year, Liam died after falling from the Caesars balcony. He was on vacation with his girlfriend, Kate Cassidy, at the Paleo Hotel in Buenos Aires. Even though EO had been very forthcoming about his struggles with mental health and his occasional use of drugs, EO had now appeared to be doing well and enjoying himself with Kate, who had to return home 2 days before his untimely death.
Hat's on the table.
Sorry.
Is this your hat?
Yeah.
Children. It's a lovely day here in Argentina. This is the breakfast table.
I'm just eating an orange.
Just enjoying coffee and breakfast, even though it's like 1 p.m.
Literally, we sleep in every day until at least 12. We're such losers.
No.
No.
Liam's hotel room, located on the 3rd floor, was strewn with drugs and booze when the police arrived on the scene. The room was littered with broken bottles, burning foil, a shattered television, and an unidentifiable powder-like material. The burned foil confirmed authorities' drug use suspicions, but they couldn't tell what it was used for.
With ABC News by UK news outlet ITN appear to show drug paraphernalia and a smashed TV inside Payne's hotel room. Plus, in a 911 call, a hotel manager calls for help, saying there's a guest who's drunk on drugs and alcohol, breaking everything in the room. And he says he's fearing for the guest's life because of the balcony.
Hotel personnel reported a guest to the police twice in the hours before Liam collapsed. A hotel employee made the initial call at approximately 5 p.m., stating that they feared one of their visitors was intoxicated. The person on the phone introduced himself as the CEO. The hotel's receptionist clarified that the visitor was misbehaving and damaging the room. The same hotel employee informed the dispatcher during a second call that the visitor was under the influence of drugs and posed a risk to himself because he was standing so near to the balcony.
Hola.
911, ¿dónde es emergencia?
Hola, buenas tardes. Mira, te estoy llamando del Hotel Casa Sur Palermo, que queda en Costa Rica 6032.
6032 está entre Arevalo y Kramer.
Sí, correcto. Entre Arevalo y Dorrego, creo que es. Bueno, nada, tenemos un huésped que está sobrepasado de droga y está rompiendo toda la habitación. Así que necesitamos que venga alguien.
Entiendo, me dice entonces que es agresivo. Señor, ¿me repite el nombre del hotel, por favor?
Liam had already fallen to his death before the dispatcher reached the site. The public has learned of pink candy, also known as Autopsy, a recreational drug, as a result of the Diddy trials, and people are making connections. In particular, Liam's behavior prior to his death is remarkably comparable to Autopsy's negative effects. Reports indicate that these effects, which include odd thinking or seeing or hearing confusion, might vary from moderate to severe. Lots of agitation and things that aren't there. This same purported designer chemical was discovered in Diddy's possession when he was arrested in New York. Additionally, Autopsy was brought up in Elrod's harassment complaint against Diddy. According to Rod's complaint, Diddy coerced Tushan into engaging in illegal activities. Additionally, Little Rod claimed that every worker at the Diddy company, including the cooks, butlers, and housekeepers, was expected to carry a sack OFA fanny pack with Autopsy and more drugs additionally. Rod confirmed that Carisha, Diddy's ex-girlfriend, who was paid as one of the freak-off girls, helped Diddy move Autopsy across state lines. Rod detailed an instance in which he saw Diddy perform a few lines of Autopsy in his dressing area and asked for further details in an updated lawsuit. Unfortunately, Brandon Paul, a well-known drug mule, and his friend neglected to pack extra bags. Christina Carorum, Diddy's head of staff, then named Carisha, will pack some for her trip from Miami on her private jet. Shortly after Liam's death made headlines, a waiter suspected of bringing drugs to him at his hotel was arrested. However, this man claimed that he had not given Liam any illegal substances, claiming that Liam already had them on him and that he had even asked for some, to which he refused.
Nos conocimos, él me contactó en lo que es mi trabajo. Ahí nos pasamos lo que es el contacto, y nos vimos, sí, ahí nos juntamos, él me mostró un poco de su música, de la música que iba a hacer.
Many people are curious about Liam and his relationship with Pink Candy. A clip from Liam's interview on the Gram. Norton's show is resurfacing as a result of this. In the episode, Liam talks about a terrifying experience he had with Diddy. He stated that as specific, he was torn between going up to Leonardo DiCaprio or Diddy and Jay-Z. Apparently, he was mistaken to believe that Diddy would be the most secure. Of the three icons, he went on to say that he was afraid of Diddy. And you know what? That right there has fans talking.
P. Diddy. I went over to say hello to P. Diddy, and Jay-Z was there, and Leonardo DiCaprio was sat.
All right, I think you've dropped enough names. I think people thought Prince and Brian Ferry was good. We don't need to hear about other people who are in the room. Just stick on the people the story's about.
So I went over and I thought, I was trying to think who's the easy target in this scenario, who's the one that you go to say the hello, and I'm thinking, I saw him and get him to the Greek, I'm going to go over there and say hello to him. So I thought, P. Diddy. So I went out to shake his hand, and I shook his hand, and I was, oh, nice to meet you, and he's just going, but the longest handshake ever. And I'm like sat there just looking in P. Diddy's eyes like, when is this going to end? And then the worst of it happened. There was a whole thing with Jay-Z, and I went to lean in to speak to him. But you can't lean in to speak to Jay-Z, you're not allowed to lean in. And his bodyguard just like shoved me like this, and I went flying across the room, and I was like, right, I'm just going to go and sit over here with Eddie Golden. Thank you.
Liam was allegedly singled out to be used as one of Diddy's boy toys. Additionally, according to some sources, he was about to reveal everything and needed to be kept quiet. Since I'm only relaying what is being stated, I can't tell you how much of it is accurate, so you make your own decisions. Maya Henry, Liam's ex-fiancée, provided some insight on these. Months before Liam's death, she said he regularly sought her assistance after their split. She claimed that although Liam would phone her and threaten to kill her and end her life, she never took him seriously because she was writing a book about their relationship. She also believed that Liam's pleas for assistance were an attempt to delay the publication of her book.
Ever since we broke up, like, oh, I'm not well. He would always play with death and be like, well, I'm gonna die. I'm not doing well. I know the lifestyle he lives, and there is a day where something bad is going to happen. So I would always be like, okay, he's saying these things. I have to help him, because if I don't, I will never be able to live with myself if something does happen to him. He would text my mom, I'm not doing well, have Maya contact me, because I wouldn't respond. And it's just always the same cycle. Like, for example, when I announced my book, he did the same thing. He called my mom, I think I'm not gonna be around much longer. And I don't play with death. So I'm like, if you say this, I'm gonna try and help you no matter what you've done. And I think he took advantage of my family's kindness. And I was like, if you wanna go back to rehab, I'll.
Further information is revealed, including a friend's fears that Liam would commit suicide or pass away inexplicably.
Friends was calling me and my mom being like, oh, you know, this isn't a good time for him. I don't think you should put the book out. You know, he's not doing well. And if something happens to him, not only are you gonna blame yourself, but the whole world's gonna blame you. And so I was like, just the fact that they just keep trying, I'm like, it is, like you said, such a low.
There is still a lot to learn about Liam's awful and premature child. And many people have different thoughts about it, such as the individual who stated, I knew his death had something to do with Diddy because the way he passed out of nowhere and had it happen was so weird. It was after the interview and after Diddy finally got caught. Another person said, what would Liam have said to investigators privately who are building if he had been willing to publicly state that he fears Diddy? Proof against Diddy. Like, he had to be silenced right now, child. These claims are so wild that only time will tell what the truth is. But for now, we want to know what you think about this. Comment with your thoughts and conclusions, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons for more posts like this one. For the most recent information about celebrities, watch the upcoming video as well.